Well, folks, welcome back. This is your host, 90 Jester. Thanks for checking out my video, and welcome back to Scenario 14 from Starter Kit 288's at Zon here in Vassal. We are about ready to start turn number 3 as the allied player here. And now it's been a couple turns. It usually happens. It takes the first couple turns for the units to engage. When you start shooting at one another, breaking one another, trying to figure out who's in what position. And usually after a couple turns, then comes the real deep involved strategy where players try to analyze weak points in their opponent's lineup, try to exploit different openings, try and force their opponent into a bad situation. And I think this is going to be the turn here because we're going to find out this is going to be a pretty important turn because after this one, this marks the halfway point for the Americans. They'll only have 3 more moves after this, turn 4, 5, and 6. So the halfway point. Obviously, they don't want to just go crashing forward into the Germans. They do have to try and find some weak spots or exploit some bad positioning or try to cause multiple breaks. You know what? We can get rid of some of these prep fire counters, and I think there's still, if I'm not mistaken, a pin counter out there. Yeah, we get rid of that from last turn. So I think turn 3 is going to be exceptionally interesting and quite pivotal in who is going to win this scenario. Americans, I think, are in a good position right now. They just need to continue that. Although, as I mentioned throughout my ASL tutorials, the movement phase, defensive fire phase, and the advanced fire phase are kind of the meat of ASL, and whoever performs better during those phases, during the different turns, usually ends up winning this scenario. And at this point, I would have to give the Germans a slight advantage in uh, the play, but that could be because they are the defender at this point. But the Americans are not done, that is for sure. And so let's get on to turn number 3 here. We're in the rally phase. So since it's the Allied turn, they get to rally 1 unit that is not stacked with the leader, self-rally. So they're going to try this unit here in H7, obviously. It's going to be +1 to the dice roll because they are self-rallying, but they don't have woods or hex to counter that. So it's just going to be +1 in the dice roll. And, oh my gosh, they rolled a heat of battle. They, well, they have rolled the heat of battle. So we're going to be rolling on the heat of battle chart, and it's quite interesting because we, as you can see, we already have 1 berserk counter right there that is already taken one of the American squads and turned it into a berserk counter. So we're going to have another heat of battle situation here for the Americans. So here's our heat of battle. So they are elites, so they get a -1 in the dice roll. They're not broken, or they are broken, so they get a +1. So that evens out. Brent's, no. All right, so it's just a straight up die roll here. Just looking to see if there's anything else. It looks like a straight up die roll. +1 for being broken, -1 for being elite. Let's find out what happens to these units. We rolled this a 6. So a 6 actually less than or equal to 6 is a hero creation, and we also get battle hardening. So that's going to be quite interesting. So a hero is going to be created, and we have battle hardening. So I don't believe these units can battle harden because they are 747 elites. There is no battle hardening, but I think they get some other bonus. Let me check. I'll be right back. All right, folks. Well, this is a wild and crazy situation that happened here, and it just brings out more of why ASL is such a great fun game, especially if you start using some of the more advanced ASL rules with their starter kit here. And really glad we decided to do this. So we have a unit here that is gone um, completely ballistic here. It was basically running up. It got shot by this AA 88 millimeter gun, broke, ran back down the hill. They gathered their strength together. One man decided that he had enough of it and is now, let's see here, we need, let's see, I gotta find it. I don't even know where it is actually, so, see if it's up here. It doesn't look like it because it's probably one of those counters. It's not infantry, it's probably in here somewhere. Heat of battle, there we go. So, let's see, Berserk, Fanatic. And okay, so one unit becomes a hero. So a hero is like just like a single main counter. They get a -1 die roll modifier to any attacks, fire groups that they lead, and they have 1 inherent firepower and a range of 4. They have a morale of 9. So that unit joins this group here, who has become Fanatic, which gives them both a +1 to their morale on their broken side and on their normal regular side. So this unit is going to be a 7, 4, 8 because they're Fanatics. And this hero can actually if we get the opportunity later, heroes can actually use weapons, support weapons as a thing. So just figure this guy, alright, jumps up off the ground and yelling and screaming at the other guys that, we need to get going here. We need to do something. And so rallied his troops. They turned into Fanatics. And now it's going to be interesting to see how all this plays out. So great role for the Americans right off the bat. So always something interesting happening here in Advanced Squad Leader, no matter how long you play. All right, so then we have this unit here who needs to try and rally. First, we need to get that leader. So it's 8 self-rally, which is a +1 in the dice rolls. The building you're in gives a -1, +4 for the DM counter. So total of +4. And he rolls a 6 + 4 is 10, so he does not make it. Since he did not rally, he could not help the unit below him rally. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that is all. But when this whole center section of the map is it's going to be hard to manage with leaders and fanatics and heroes being created and all kinds of wonderful things. All right, German player. Let's see, who do we have that is broken? So we have this guy that's broken here with the leader. This guy is not with the leader, so he cannot try to rally. So, yep, so we're going to try this guy, 7 morale. And he's not self-rallying. So he gets a -1 in the dice roll because of the building he's in. Let's see if he can rally. He rolls a 4, and that activates the allied sniper. Let me check on that. All right, yeah. When you're rallying, you don't activate the opponent's sniper number. Just during the prep fire phase, the movement phase, defensive fire phase, and advanced fire phase. Whenever you make a 2-hit, a morale check, or IFT roll, a couple other things, but not on rallying. So the unit actually 4 rallies. So he's no longer broken. And this unit can't do anything, but he does lose his DM counter. Wow, that was a really interesting rally phase. So unfortunately for the Americans, they didn't get the result there they were hoping for, but we're going on to the next phase because I think everybody else is good. Right. So we're going on to prep fire phase. This is rather difficult for the American player here. He really has to get moving up, and he obviously he can move all of his units. The problem is you don't want to just run them up and get them all broken and everything, and have to rally them, and that's going to slow them down. But you don't want to just prep fire all your units either, because that's not going to help. He's got a really good attack over here. It's 18 -1 for the leader, +3 for the building, so it's a +2 on the 18 column, on the 16 column. So he's even if he rolls a 7, he's still going to end up with a 1 morale check. Prep firing these units would, and hopefully breaking this unit would free up this unit a little bit here, but if we look at some line of sight here, we do have this unit here. We can't just run down this way. There are some other things we could do for that. I mean, it's risky because if they take this shot and they don't end up breaking this unit, they're wasting their movement to do that. Which could be very kind of bad. But I think it's such a good opportunity. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. Such a good opportunity to do that and take that unit out. This unit's already broken. The only ones really stopping the Americans are these units at that point. There's things they can do to maybe mitigate that. Yeah, the American player is going to take that shot. It's just, again, as the attacker, you don't want to spend all your units prep firing, but you do have to. You can't just move all your units to get them shot to pieces either. So they're going to take that attack. So again, it's 18, so it's on the 16 column, -1 for the leader, +3 for the building here. So it's going to be a +2 on the 16 column leader-led attack. Hopefully, wow. So I rolled a 9 +2 is 11, and that is the problem. It's a pin task check. So this unit needs to make a pin task check. It's a 7. He rolls 11, so he is pinned, which halves his firepower, but unfortunately does not resolve what the American was really hoping for. And I mean, it was a good attack, so I think it was worth the effort because it would have freed up a lot of things to do here. All right, all right, so now what's going to happen is this unit right here. Oh wait, we're still in prep fire. Yes. So anybody else prep firing? These guys can't see anybody. Berserk unit's gotta charge either this unit or this unit. Actually, he's gonna have to charge this unit because these are not known enemy units. I believe they have to charge known enemy units. He would probably choose this one anyways. So we could prep fire with the other guy, but that's just 7 firepower. Plus 2 because of the emplacement. What's that firepower going to be? 6 plus 2 is, if you roll a 7, you're not going to get any result. But is that unit going to move any? He might actually be able to move into some situations here. This unit's going to move because he sees an opportunity as well. This unit's, again, in a great position, lots of firepower. Problem is this unit's concealed, so they're half firepower. Plus the 3 plus 3 die roll modifier for the stone building. So instead of a 21, it's going to be a 10 firepower, 10 and a half firepower. So it's going to be down in the 8, and you're going to add 3 to the dice roll, which is nothing. So I think prep fire will be done. Interesting. That is, I had sat here before this episode and kind of thought both sides. Americans, what would they do? Germans, okay, what am I worried about? What am I most concerned about? And analyzing things. And now that it actually played out through the rally phase and the prep fire phase, everything is messed up, which is, normal. So that's good. That's what you want to see. All right, so we are on to the movement phase, the all important movement phase. This could make or break the scenario, is my impression, depending on what the American does and how the defensive fire goes. Well, what do we want to do first is the most important thing. I mean, okay. I've got a plan here. I've got a plan. So this unit right here, this squad is going to activate just the squad, nobody else, just this one little dude. Actually, let me take all of the movement things off so that way we know who's moved and who doesn't move. This little squad here, the 747, they're going to activate and they're going to try to throw smoke right there, which is going to cost 2 movement factors because they're throwing in an adjacent hex. And they have 1, 2, or 3 on the smoke component. Let's roll a single die this time. I don't know why the single die is not down here. You think the dice would be over here together. Although, wow, look at that. There's all kinds of things in here. I probably maybe be able to speed things up. I don't know. Anyways, we're just going to roll a single die. 1, 2, or 3. He does. So he is successful. So with that, defensive fire could happen because he spent some movement factors, but it doesn't happen until after the smoke is either out there or not. So this unit could defensive fire. Again, it would be half firepower because he's now pinned. And I don't believe, actually, these guys, I think, see one another. But are they going to lose their concealment to shoot at guys in a stone building? No, I really don't think so. Not with all these other units waiting to be moved. Um, so with that in mind, so that was that gentleman's two movement points, two movement factors spent. And for his next two movement factors, he is going to move here, right there. So again, defensive fire, if they want. This unit here could, probably not, shooting 2 firepower into the stone building. So the German really is, we talked about this in the beginning of this episode, forcing your opponent to do maybe take a bad decision, make a bad decision in what he's doing, what he's thinking about. There are advantages and disadvantages to defensive firing here. Number one, the units that defensive fire are going to lose their concealment counter, which could be bad. But he also has to think about where are these guys going to go and where are these guys going to go, because at this point, he's still got a lot of units to worry about. And he would be losing his concealment counter. He would get a non-assault move -1 to his attack, but it'd be +3 because of the stone building. Would it be better to wait until he sees someone in the open? This is what you want to do as the attacker. Force your opponent to make a bad decision. And I'm not sure there is a good decision here because, if he defensive fires here and gets a good result and breaks him, then it's like, yeah, it's a great result. It's a great move. But if he doesn't, we know what's in here, but the American player doesn't at this point. We could just analyze really quickly. If we take one of these squads, it's going to be a 4. If we assume the leader is going to help, it's going to be a -1 for the leader, +3 for the building, so it's going to be a 4 + 2 attack, which is going to end up being nothing. If we take both squads and the leader, yeah, it's just not worth it at this point. The stone buildings are just so hard to get a result on. So he, especially with all this open terrain here, he thinks he can get a better shot. So, I'm just trying to analyze both sides for you guys so you understand the decision process that's being made. All right, so the American player has a tough decision. A very tough decision, actually, because he had something in mind with this unit and the leader, and now he sees an opportunity that maybe he can't afford to pass up. See, that would be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, tough decisions. Again, now the American player has to make the right decision. All right. He has decided. All right. I've decided. All right. Yes. He's going to assault move those units into the smoke. So, so if anybody else, if you're watching this afterwards, the units were here in N7. There's something else they could do that I think would be quite advantageous. And I'm not going to tell you what I'm thinking about, but if you're, if you're watching this and you think, oh, I have something they could have done, um, leave your thought in the comments, and we'll compare notes after the scenario is done, or well, I mean after the video's uploaded, as to what you think might have been a good option. All right, so he's moved there. Well, that can obviously cause some defensive fire, which this unit's obviously going to defensive fire. So 4 firepower, half because he's pinned, double because he's adjacent, so it's back up to 4 firepower. He gets the, he doesn't get the non-assault move. Actually, yes, the smoke counter does not come off until, let me think about this. Is it the defensive fire phase or does it come off at the movement phase? Let me check. I'll be right back. Okay, so yeah, that's what I thought. Smoke stays on, infantry smoke stays on until the end of the movement phase. So this guy, I mean, he might as well wait until the defensive fire phase, because that way he will get he won't have to worry about the smoke. He won't get the non-assault move bonus of +1, so it'll be a straight up 4 attack. If he shoots now, it's going to be a 4 +1. So yeah, you might as well wait. Again, these guys here can. Same thing with these guys. I mean, they would get the -1, or they can wait until the movement phase is over. All right, so that's their moves. I don't think the German player, I mean, there's no advantage, so they might as well wait. All right, so the American player is going to activate just a squad here on the bottom. Just a squad on the bottom. And he's going to move. Right there. All right, well, German player's done waiting. He's ready to go. He's going to take a shot here. It's going to be -2, move in the open, non-assault move. It's only 4 firepower, -2 though. It should be a pretty, if he gets a good roll, could be quite dangerous. We shall see. And he rolls an 11, so that's going to be nothing. So 4 -2 should have been a 1 morale check. He ends up with nothing, unfortunately. But he does leave 2 residual firepower there. I'm going to try and actually remember that this time. And he gets a first fire counter, just that top unit there. So that might steer what the enemy is going to be doing. I need to remove the counters so I can. Okay. Oh, I'll just draw over here. That's fine. Go. So that was 1 movement factor. He is then going to, go there for 2, 3 movement factor. Total of 3. Again, defensive fire, but he's back in a building. Probably not going to. Well, he scaved out of there. Okay. But that kind of brings a problem here. a serious problem. The American was kind of hoping something else would happen, but he was hoping the German wouldn't do that because he wanted to foul those guys up. But 2 firepower attack. He's going to send another squad. This time he's going to CX this unit ahead of time. So American player, our German player knows, oh, well, he doesn't want to just move. He wants to run. So first thing this unit has to do is take a 2 firepower column attack. And rolls an 11. So nothing there. He could defensive fire again. The first fire guy could subsequent first fire, and it would be half firepower, so it'd be a 2. He would get another -2 to the dice because of the non-assault move and moving out in the open. And he would leave his other counters concealed, which I think he will do. So we're going to flip that over. So again, 4 firepower, half because it's subsequent first fire, and -2 to the dice. Oh, it's a 3 -2. That's going to be that's going to be a 1 KIA. All right. Well, that's the danger you run. So he's just KIA'd a unit there. All right, that KIA result, obviously 3 -2, 1 KIA, yep. All right, so only affects the unit that's moving. So, not exactly, I guess that was a good choice for the German player. Not a great choice for the American player. All right, he's actually going to do the same thing. He's going to CX this unit and move him in there. Before the German player decides whether or not he wants to do anything, he has to take a 2 firepower attack. He rolls a 6. Residual firepower does not cower, by the way, so that's a pin task check. This unit is a 7. He rolls a natural 2, so he's not pinned. Now the German player can defensive fire, which he will reveal now the rest of his units. So he's got a leader and another squad. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to move you up to the top and you up there as well. All right, there we go. So we've got a leader and a squad, so it's a -1, -2, -3. Assault move in the open, so it's a -3 on the 4 column. And we roll. Oh my gosh, it's another KIA. That did not work out well at all for the Americans. Wow. And they are first fired. Shoot. I should have done what I was going to do with these guys instead. That's a bummer. Yeah, that is a bummer. All that firepower wasted. These guys, they did a number on them, didn't they? Well, the last thing we can do is double check to make sure there's line of sight. I believe there is. There is. Okay. That would have been a funny thing if there was no line of sight. Shoot. I was going to throw out smoke, too. One of those units is going to throw out smoke, but I hate to waste movement factors throwing out smoke. I should have done that. I thought, well, there's no way the 2 firepower and his little squads are going to do anything to us. There's no way. Well, that's what happens when you move out in the open. Damn, I should have thrown some smoke. All right, well, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. All right, this guy here, the hero and this fanatic Americans are going to Interesting. What are the... I believe they act like a hero and give... I'm going to check that real quick before I say. Hang on. All right, yeah, I was just checking to see if the hero actually gave um, movement to like a leader. But they are actually different than a leader. A hero and a leader are different. So, these guys are going to move. Actually, you know what? Maybe it's best to wait because I think that might actually be an interesting situation that might come up here. All right, well, we know the Berserker is going to go Berserk, right? So he starts charging forward. Well, the 88's got to take a shot because he knows this guy's coming for him. So uh, takes a shot. So he's going to lose. He's going to lose this. Flip it. Flip, flip. There we go. So take a... nope, we don't put that out there yet. So... if we look at our chart again, 8, saw move in the open, I believe, FFNAM, FFMO, -1 to the dice roll, so -2. Actually, is he? Let's see. Yes, he is in a clear hex. All right. Actually, I'm gonna have to check the rules because I'm wondering if the Berserker is 3 hexes away, but going into this hex and going into this hex are extremely different. So I need to find out if he's got to go in the shortest movement factors or if he can just, you know, run down the hill, then run up the hill, and then attack. Let me check. Interesting questions. Interesting. All right. Well, for those of you keeping score at home, it's about the third time I've had to put this on pause. Anyways, rule 15.43. At the start of the movement phase, each non-melee berserk unit must charge the nearest in hexes, not movement factors, known enemy unit in where? In, oops, shouldn't have scrolled that many times. In its line of sight. It must, if it has sufficient movement factors, enter its location. So it specifically even says in hexes, not movement factors. So must go, oops, did not mean to move you guys, sorry about that. So it's 3 hexes, so he has to go 2 hexes, 1 hex, and then 0 hex. So we might as well run down the hill. Rah! Charge, 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 which means nobody can defensive fire on him. And then when he comes out, charges up the hill. That's when they can defensive fire. So that's when they will. There's no sense in going this way because he'll probably take 2 shots at him. Anyways, it's an 88 millimeter, 8 to hit, plus or -1 for the non-assault move, -1 for move in the open. So let's see if he hits. That's an 8. So -2 is 6. This might get real bad for the Americans. It's around the 16 firepower column. But remember, this guy does have a 10 morale because he's berserk. So let's see what we roll. Those are 7. So 7 on the 16 column is a 2 MC. 2 MC. This berserk unit can actually resist this. No, he can't. That's an 11 plus 12, 13. So he breaks. Berserk unit goes broken. Well, that 88 has come in handy quite a few times. Quite a few times. What do we have here? Yep, we got the Fanatic. These guys are going to. Oh, wait. We need to do a few things. Residual firepower. Nope, they don't need residual. Do they? God. Ordnance shooting AG. No, I don't think they leave residual. What am I thinking? But we do need a counter on this dude, right? Put that on there, just so we can keep track at home. Yeah, this episode's gone a little long, but I'm going to try and get through this one little movement phase. These guys, I think they're going to assault move right there, which 14 firepower. 14 firepower. We lose our concealment. It's probably going to be the best shot we get because these guys, I know what they're up to. Yep, they're going to have to lose their concealment. They're going to take a shot. So it's 7, and 7 is 14 firepower for being adjacent. Oh, it's actually only it is a stone building, so that is plus 3. And they get the, the assault moved, actually. So, yeah, since they assault moved, again, there's no real advantage in shooting at them yet, is there? Is there any advantage in shooting at them now? Yes, there would be. The advantage is it would leave residual firepower in case somebody else moves into that hex. Which we have a feeling this guy's coming up to do that. So yeah, we are going to lose our concealment. We're going to take the shot. And even though the assault moved up there, we don't get the non-assault move. We don't get the move in the open. It's 14 firepower. 4 for the squad, 3 for the light machine gun. That's 7. Doubled is 14. Plus 3 for the stone building. Let's see what happens. Roll the 5 3s, so we get no rate of fire. That's an 8. 9, 10, 11. Really? Okay, not a very good attack. On the 12 column is an 11. Yeah, that's not even, that is a nothing other than 12 firepower is 6 residual. Now that's pretty decent. That is quite a step up there. A lot of firepower going on there. They first fired. So they can also, in the defensive fire phase, they can shoot an adjacent unit. All right, so that's that. This did not work out as well as the Americans were hoping. Not at all. Yeah, with all that firepower going, that guy does not want to move in there, does he? No, he does not. But he could move. Let me just have to clear out this corner so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. Nope, that's not what I wanted to see. Damn. No matter what he does, it's just not good. Okay. All right. He will crazy CX. All right. So he's gonna be 1, 2, 3, oops, 4, 5. Nobody can actually see him. If I show you the line of sight, everybody's back on the hill. They can't actually see over there. So he's got free reign to run around the edge of the building. Assuming that the German player does not wish to defensive fire with anything hidden off in the bushes, which the German player thinks about doing but chooses not to at this point. All right, so that is one wild ride there, and from a rating of 1 to 10 for the Americans on talking about how critical it was that they get a good one, that was probably about a 2. That was not good. Elimination of 2 units up here really hurt. Um, yeah. I will see you in the next episode, folks. Thanks for watching.